Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. During and after any nerve-jerking event, whether a natural disaster or personal pressures, the persons who often do amazing things like rescuing others are often ordinary Joes like me and you. Yet they didn't waver in their abilities, but jumped to give a helping hand. Today we're going to give you a bird's eye view on many ordinary persons who have decided to make a difference, not only in their homes, but the wider Jamaica. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after the news.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Friday, July 26, 2024. Government has relieved the tax burden on persons importing goods for Hurricane Beryl relief and rehabilitation. Customs duty and GCT is being temporarily lifted over the period July 4 to August 23, 2024. A statement from the Ministry of Finance advises that the Minister granted approval for this to apply to goods which the Commissioner of Customs is satisfied are being imported for relief and rehabilitation. This arises from the activation of the Disaster Risk Management Act and is in accordance with Item 30B of the second schedule to the Customs Tariff and Section 47 of the GCT Act. Motorists using the Maypen to Williamsfield leg of Highway 2000 have been given a reprieve at the toll until August 17. Government is pushing back the previously announced July start date on compassionate grounds in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. This will also facilitate a smoother transition for commuters and businesses that rely on the highway. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says delaying the toll charges will allow critical resources and attention to be directed to communities in the southern parishes which were hardest hit and ensure they receive the necessary support to rebuild and recover. Mr. Holness says this intervention by the government is in recognition of the immense challenges being faced by residents in the wake of the hurricane and offer them some relief. He says the National Road Operating and Construction Company NROC will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide updates as needed. The National Cleanup Campaign, which includes the removal of bulky waste, got off to an official start in Portmore on Wednesday. The island-wide initiative is being led by the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, which has put its newly acquired crane and tipper trucks into action to execute the work. In Portmore, over 100 workers were deployed and several derelict vehicles and other forms of solid waste were removed. At the launch, Prime Minister Andrew Holness reiterated the need for citizens to practice proper waste disposal, which he argues has a serious impact on climate change and natural disasters.
When you drive along the roads coming in and you see all the plastic bottles strewn along the roadway, how did it get there? Somebody in the car, wind on the window, throw it out. Somebody walking, drinking the water, drop it there. We cannot continue like that as a people. When it gets into the earthen drains, that prevents the water from moving through. So it's not just the trees that block the drain, it is the plastics.
The cleanup campaign is also supporting some aspects of the dengue mitigation initiative.
Between the NSWMA and the NWA, $1.3 billion has been allocated. And I'm speaking funds now, budget, to be able to go right across Jamaica and deal with these issues of areas being waterlogged and deal with the issues of the collection of bulky waste, which contributes to the breeding sites for vectors.
An anti-money laundering AML unit has been established within the company's Office of Jamaica, COJ, to enhance regulatory compliance and transparency. Manager for the unit, Inger Hainsley Bennett, says its primary focus is to leverage the new powers granted to registrars under the Financial Action Task Force. The unit is tasked with ensuring that information provided by companies is accurate and verifiable, in keeping with heightened scrutiny and monitoring efforts to combat money laundering and ensure financial integrity.
The AML unit therefore goes out to ensure that beneficial ownership information has been provided, and beneficial owners are the persons who ultimately own and control the company. So this unit goes out to ensure that the information provided is actually there at the company's actual location, to ensure that the information that is supplied at the company's office is in keeping with what the companies have at their registered office locations.
Mrs. Hainsley Bennett was speaking at a recent GIS think tank. Companies are being encouraged to ensure their compliance with the new regulations by filing the necessary documentation in a timely manner and maintaining accurate records. Airline seating capacity is set to increase in November when Avelo Airlines begins introducing new direct flights between Hartford, Connecticut in the United States and Montego Bay, Jamaica. Starting November 16, these non-stop flights will operate twice weekly on Wednesdays and Saturdays, providing an accessible and affordable travel option for passengers. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett has welcomed the news and commended Avelo Airlines for recognizing the value of expanding their service to Jamaica. He asserts that the route is of great significance, as Connecticut and the surrounding areas represent a major market for visitors to Jamaica. Additionally, Minister Bartlett says these regions have a high concentration of Jamaica's diaspora, making this new service a vital link for families and friends. And finally, Jamaican parents will now be legally required to provide financial support to their children for an additional 5 years under specific conditions. This follows an amendment to the Maintenance Act of 2005, which now mandates that parents must support their children until they turn age 23 if the children are enrolled in educational or training programs. The amendment bill was piloted in the House of Representatives on Tuesday by the Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck.
The amendment to the Maintenance Act seeks to allow for a maintenance order to be granted by the court if the child attains the age of 18 years for the purpose of engaging in a course of education or training, whether or not an order of maintenance had been issued prior. Such order, however, would not extend for any period beyond the child attaining the age of 23 years. The amendment also seeks to allow for the application for a maintenance order to be made by the child himself who has attained the age of 18 years, the child's parents, or any other person who has the care and custody of the child.
Minister Chuck says the amendment to the Maintenance Act results in the consequential amendment to the Children, Guardianship and Custody Act in order to achieve consistency throughout legislation. The bill received bipartisan support and was passed without amendment. And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Just because some of us came through the hurricane with our roofs doesn't mean we're all in good shape.
We are now in the hurricane season, so as we stay prepared, here is some important information to help you prepare for whatever storm blows your way.
Please go out and check your roofs, because what I saw in St. Elizabeth tells me that even the best looking roofs are not altogether sound. Please check on your nails that hold down the sheeting. Please check on the lats that hold the sheeting and the lats to the rafters. Please check on your wall plates. Check on your windows for vibrations and stability. Check the roof for vibrations and stability. That is a quick stopgap check and firm up everything, but with screws, not nails. Nails tend to split wood and create a gap where you could have had mud. Go on your rooftops now.
Jamaica is well known for its colorful culture, stunning scenery, and above all, its resilient and spirited people. In our upcoming feature, we will showcase some fellow Jamaicans whose unwavering perseverance and hard work have left an indelible mark on the island. While we do what we do selflessly, honoring our own commitment to excellence, we are unknowingly being seen by many we can only imagine. These words best describe the role of a hero, committed to unwavering integrity and passion, fueled by purpose.
Price, a member of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander, for outstanding performance in the field of athletics at the international level.
Well, it definitely means a lot to be honored in your country for your service and your hard work. And I think for me, being able to represent my country is always an honor. And for me going forward, I think, just continue to raise the bar, continue to work hard, continue to be committed, and again, the legacy is about impact, making sure that other young girls know that they too have a path and they know the path and they too can achieve success from a path or similar path like Shelly-Ann.
For exceptional achievements in sports of track and field athletics at the national, world championship and Olympic levels.
I'm just grateful to be standing here receiving this award today. I'm just grateful. I would have never imagined, but definitely hard work pays off. It's just for me, it's just probably where I come from. I just want to stay motivated. There are a lot of persons in my community who probably see me and want to be like me or better than me. So I think that keeps me motivated. A lot of youngsters look up to me, and for that I'm just grateful.
Outstanding contribution to music, philanthropy, and positive pro-social message to youth.
I decided several years ago to, spend more time and give more energy and effort to things that are, in my view, of national importance and different things that I'm also passionate about. And an award like this is, to me, just encouragement to continue along that path. I'm proud of my involvement with the reTransform program because of what it means for those juveniles in the system and what it can mean if they change the direction of their lives.
Dr. Amina Isolane Blackwood Meeks, Badge of Honor for Meritorious Service for contribution to the development of the literary arts in the Jamaican culture.
It means that we are on purpose, and it means that it is being recognized that we are on purpose. It's all about the future. It's all about maintaining what we have. Sometimes we live on the legacy, we live on the name, and we don't build on it. So my dream is that those who have been impacted by my work will build on it.
These honorees are on a journey, each with different paths, and as their work continues, so will the stories of their impact.
Data from the National Road Safety Council shows that 90% of motorcyclists who die on our roads were not wearing a helmet. Don't let that be you. Wearing a helmet could save you and your pillion's life. In the event of a crash, the helmet can protect you against severe head injuries. Wearing a helmet can also help to reduce wind noise and light rays while driving. Let's work to reduce the carnage on our roads. Wear a helmet, ride safely.
government is now in assessment mode as it looks to determine the full scope of damage caused by the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
I think we were spared. I think all Jamaicans should be giving a collective thank you and saying even more prayers of gratitude to our Lord Jesus Christ, who obviously we pray to.
When the hurricane was coming, I was home, but to the speed where that thing was coming with, it's like when you have boiling water in a pot, when it catches the wind. When I see take off one sheet of plywood I have from a washroom and go outside, I couldn't see not even my hand.
Our next feature will focus on how parents may use common household items to support their children's summertime learning, particularly in math.
Can't bother no.
What is it, my daughter?
I can't do that maths here.
All right. Let me take a look at it now.
Math can seem daunting, but there are a few things you can do to support your child at home. One area to look at is games. We all play games on a regular basis, especially children. And how much fun would it be to tie mathematics into the games they play?
There's a very interesting notion that is put forward. And that notion is the fact that the things that we are interested in are the same things that we seem to do well in. Now, if it is that around our interest there's also a heightened level of performance, or we seem to learn things much faster when we are in tune, it therefore becomes important for us to actually put emphasis on making mathematics an interest. Because once we begin to allow our students or our children to see the fun in math and begin to develop a level of interest, it is at that point in time you will find that they may learn the concepts much faster.
Arithmetic helps us in keeping track of time, conducting business, and making plans.
In reinforcing the math from home, we have to do a few things. One, you could, while cooking or baking, allow your child to come forward and to share the math concepts that they were exposed to in school. I'm sure while you're cooking something, your child can apply some measurement skills, some conversions, some looking at the beakers and so on. Additionally, we know that at times we do some amount of sorting and organizing. There's always a shelf somewhere to be packed, a cabinet to be reorganized, some things to be moved around. This is an opportunity to allow your child to use their spatial awareness, to be able to look at shapes.
Do you want to know what I do?
I find creative ways to incorporate the knowledge to them, because maths is not an easy subject. and most children will tell you, maths hard, but it's something that they need in their everyday life. So I find creative ways to put it to them in fun ways that we both can enjoy doing it together.
Some of the concepts that I believe that parents could pay a keen attention to is the number concept, like the simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
You have to know at least the basics. I mean, we're not going to tell them about the algebras and the other areas which is a little bit challenging to them, but at least know to make change, know how to know the difference between distance and time and things like those. I'll try to encourage all fathers at least to know the basic about the concept of maths. For the primary student, you use whatever they like. Okay. If they like food, they use food. Divide up the pizza, show them how to divide it. If they like money, they're the children who love playing with money and love counting money, use the money.
Look at your child textbook. You'd see the topics based on the child age group, all the topics that they'll go through throughout the entire year. And you can also consult with the teacher and find out what topic am I looking at now, so that you can use all the online resources.
We have to find out what is the root of the problem first. Is it that you're not understanding or you're not grasping as much as you're being taught? Then that much we need to identify what are the weak areas, what are the problems. Once we can identify what is the problem, then we can actually try and fix it from there.
So we're not supposed to be thinking with our fixed mindset that there's only one way, so the teacher is doing it wrong. We could be doing it wrong, we might never know. So we'll have to be open to the fact that we're not the only person with an opinion, or this is not the only way of solving that one problem.
Parents, I want to encourage you today. When it is that your child comes home with the math book and you realize that the approach that is being taken to deliver the content is not the same way you are used to it, don't throw it aside and say, no, that's wrong, or that is harder, that's different. You need to embrace the approach.
There is many ways to help. You don't have to help physically, but being there to sit down and to encourage the child, talk with them, or even while they're doing it, you look over and say, yes man, okay, try it this way. I mean, that is support.
Support your child and give them the push they need. In math, practice makes perfect.
The summer holiday for children is their time to rest and have fun. But as parents and guardians, it is our duty to ensure they don't lose sight of the knowledge learned in school. Here are some tips to help keep your little ones entertained while at home. Spend time cooking together. Cooking is a lifelong skill. It doesn't hurt teaching your child how to find their way around the kitchen and prepare simple yet filling meals. But remember, safety first. Have your child read for at least 30 minutes a day. Yes, reading is fundamental, and the earlier they start, the better. But not just any books. Ensure they have educational content or provide life lessons. Engage in meaningful vocabulary-building conversations. While you engage in daily conversations, introduce them to new words. Give them context clues and use these words in sentences. Let this be a fun and learning experience for you both. Try out safe at-home science or art projects. Children are naturally curious, so imagine how fun carrying out science experiments would be for them. Likewise, art projects. Expose them to outdoor activities. Let's bring back the days where we explored the great outdoors and connected with nature. Let's balance fun and learning this summer by following these tips on how to beat the summer slide.
A happy home is a safe home. Here are some quick tips to keep household chemicals out of the reach of children. Tip 1. Clearly label all chemicals and store them in their original containers to avoid confusion. Tip 2. Use child-proof locks on low cabinets and store all chemicals on high shelves or in locked cabinets. Tip 3. Teach your children about the dangers and importance of safety around these products. Few simple steps can make a big difference. Keep your home safe and keep those little hands out of harm's way.
The company's Office of Jamaica COJ has embarked on a series of programs aimed at enhancing service delivery for their clients, with several initiatives already yielding positive results.
This plan spans over a 587-day period. It began in March 2023 and it is expected to be completed by June 2025. Now, some of these new services that we have introduced, they include e-ticketing, and the e-ticketing, for example, it is a virtual service where you can, from the comfort of home, or if you're up and about doing business, you can request certain services from the COJ. Coupled with the e-ticketing services is our lobby services. Now, there are some customers who really just want to make a quick stop at the COJ and move on to whatever they need to do. For example, they're opening a bank account and they may simply need a certified copy of their articles of incorporation. With the lobby services, it means you don't have to wait to see a customer service representative to have those copies generated.
In addition to these services, COJ has implemented a floor walker program. The floor walkers assist customers and engage them to complete their forms, which reduces wait times. Through these initiatives, COJ is demonstrating its commitment to improving service delivery and ensuring a more efficient and satisfying experience for all its clients. We've reached the end of our program. Get a recap of everything you saw here and more on our website, gis.gov.jm. On behalf of all of us here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.